morning and welcome to Street Beat. As always, I'm your host, Tim Lawless. Today, the community correspondents have a very interesting show for you. We'll find out what it's like to be young, deaf, and unemployed. We'll learn how you can make summer dreams come true for some very special children. But first, it's community correspondent Weishen with a very special guest, the new conductor of the Detroit Symphony Orchestra, Leonard Slatkin. Wei?
One bright spot that Detroiters may enjoy amid the unprecedented economic crisis is that the world-renowned conductor, Leonard Slatkin, has come in town, and he is embarking on a very exciting journey with the Detroit Symphony Orchestra as its new music director. Hailed as America's music director, Leonard Slatkin has made his mark in music history by elevating his orchestras into even greater national prominence. His extraordinary talent, innovative approaches to programming, and most importantly, his ability to lead have won praises from industry leaders, the press, and of course, the concert goers. His recordings have been recognized with 7 Grammy Awards and more than 60 nominations for the Grammys. This morning, we have the privilege of talking with Leonard Slatkin. Thanks for coming on to the show, Leonard.
Great to be here.
Apparently, you grew up in a very musical family, surrounded by gifted musician parents. Do you think that exposure in childhood had a lot to do with your pursuit of music career later on in life?
There's no question about that, but my father's side of the family had nobody who were musicians, and he grew to be one of the most important and prominent people in the field in this country. So I don't think it's necessary that you have parents or grandparents who are in music. What is necessary is that you share the idea of music in the household. People listen to things together. I'm sure you know this, as do most of the viewers. All kids get this from their parents. How can you listen to that stuff? It's awful. But if the parents take the time to listen to what their children are listening to, it means that you as a parent can say, now I've heard Coldplay, I've heard Linkin Park, I've heard Eminem, whoever it happens to be. I'd like you to listen to something that I listened to when I was a kid. So the shared music experience, to me, is what makes it work. Not to mention music education in the schools. So maybe we shouldn't mention it.
That's right. Did you always know that you wanted to become a conductor someday?
No, I started as a violinist, then realized I would never be as good as my father, so I quit. Took up the piano, realized I would never be as good as my uncle, so I quit. I took up the viola because nobody else in the family played it. Then I graduated to composition. Then, just after my father died, he was only 47, I got out of music altogether and thought I might become either a sports broadcaster or an English teacher. Seriously. Gradually, my friends encouraged me to get back into music, and conducting came into the picture then. By that time, I was about 19.
Now, could you kind of give us a quick lesson on Conducting 101?
Sure.
As a quick demo here?
Have you ever conducted?
No.
Did you ever play an instrument?
Not really. I grew up
Then for you, it's really easy. Conducting, essentially, is about keeping time and showing how time moves. So the first thing I need to see from you is for you to put your right hand roughly like I have mine. Got it? Now I want you to take a breath. When you take the breath, you move your arm up. And then come down. And you have to come down exactly where you started. So it's like this. So you came down lower than you started. Try it here. Now go up, come down. Once more. Okay, right now, 100 people would play right with you on the downbeat, just like that. But if we want them to play a whole measure of music, which might have 4 beats in it, we have to give them a sense of direction. 1 is down, 2 is to the left, 3 is to the right, and 4 is back up. So the whole thing looks like this. Down, left, right, up. Always staying in the same tempo, just like that. Got it? Let me see you do it. 1, up, come, I'll just read. Down, left, right, up. Forgot to come up. Down, down, left, right, up. What are you doing Thursday night? Brahms 4. No problem.
Thank you for your tip. Wonderful lesson. Now, I've heard about the signature sound for the orchestra. Could you help our viewers understand what that means?
The sound of an orchestra is the same thing as everybody speaking the same language but having a different accent. If you read a book, whether it's by Melville or Dickens or Faulkner, they're all using pretty much the same words, but they're putting them together in an individual way. The same thing applies to sound. A great orchestra is one that has a sound that's not quite like all the others, even though we play the same instruments and we play the same music. Here in Detroit, we're very blessed because we have a great hall in addition to a great orchestra. So our sound emanates first and foremost from the rather luscious feel that the hall presents. So the strings are like this big carpet that everybody else gets to rest on. We also want individuality in the solo playing. So if the flute or the clarinet or the horn or the trumpet have their own ideas in a solo passage, we allow them to do that. So it's a combination, individuality, but coupled also with compatibility and simple ensemble work. Our sound will be very luxurious and luscious, more or less in all the repertoire.
We need to go to a break now, but we will continue this interview with Leonard Slatkin right after these messages.